Oh, oh, oh. Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. Yesterday was John Lennon's birthday. How many of you knew this by show of hands? How many of you listen to John Lennon's music by show of hands? How many of you have never heard the name John Lennon? Like he's my neighbor or he filled up gas for me. John Lennon, at a point, would have been the most famous and perhaps one of the most powerful people while he was alive. Yet, as we look around, and he didn't die that long ago, so many don't even know his name. And there's a great truth in this. I obviously appreciate John Lennon, otherwise I wouldn't be speaking about him. That time powerfully moves forward. And I'm using the word powerfully because all else is left backwards, meaning in the past. I feel, not in a good way, some decades from now, people will feel that Gandhiji was a mythological figure. Keyword being myth, like Dumbledore or Gandalf and so on. When there's people I know who were at his funeral, that he's a historical personality, this truth helps us reprioritize, reinvest from that which is subject to time to that which is not subject to time. That which is not subject to time is not outside. It is inside of you. It is you. Once, a very capable guru was trying to teach a very capable disciple about what I just shared with you. Time forward, all backwards. And this disciple was unable to make that final connection to internalize this. So the guru shared, go and study this autumn tree. Remember, you had to play with leaves. So go and study this autumn tree. And this disciple was there and he was intently reflecting on this autumn tree, and lots of leaves were falling until there was one final leaf. And it was just fluttering around and finally broke away from this tree. And as it was floating to the ground, that disciple was enlightened. Before that leaf hit the ground, that disciple was enlightened, became the guru, because he had learned that this is reality. This is the relative reality. That all is as strong as an autumn leaf connected to a tree. One moment it's there, the next moment it's on the ground. Meaningful Mornings is a workshop to make us feel bad. So that we commit to the good. I had earlier shared that the most powerful or punching thought that has been shared for me thus far was the term na nivritti, which means not knowing what not to do. When someone lives like this is anti-joy. And more practically, it is anti-dharma. Dharma means responsibility. If one is following their responsibility, they know what to do and what not to do. In the Mahabharata, one of the questions asked to Yudhishthira is, what makes the sun set? Now, all of you bright students are sharing the sun doesn't set. You think that's the point of the Mahabharata, to teach us about geography in the solar system? The answer is dharma. Dharma makes the sun set. The implication being, when you follow dharma, which is a means, then you feel joy. That means comes to an end. That ends is joy. These verses that we're studying of late are showing us what dharma is not. And we do need such messages to help us tune into what dharma is. Now, for some, especially those who are newer, this is all complex. Dharma, not dharma. In Srimad Bhagavatam, I had shared that the purpose of Srimad Bhagavatam, and so the easiest way to practice dharma is Vasudeva. And I said it incorrectly recently. I shared Vasudeva Achintya. Achintya means unthinkable. And I, by accident, shared that which is right. Awareness is unthinkable. Thinking depends on awareness. But the factual word is anuchintya. Please try to remember this. Vasudeva anuchintya, which means you comprehensively remember all associated with Vasudeva or Sri Krishna. It is not your nama, but his nama. Not your rupa, but his rupa. Not your gunas, but his gunas. This whole your and his goes back and forth until Dhamma. Then there's no yours and his. There is only one locus. In verse 17, what Sri Krishna has shared is one who forgets Sri Krishna's nama, rupa, guna. Such a person only remembers their own nama. They live for their own name. And all of the awfulness that comes with that, like conceit, hypocrisy, and so on. One more insight into this verse, then we continue. One whose purpose is themselves, the individuality, then their security becomes dhana. That is the exact word that's used in verse 17. Dhana means resources or wealth or money. Earlier this week, I had shared, we have probably 1,000 seekers in our community. And then it's reasonable for all of the seekers to contribute $1,000 a year to charity. So our community should generate $1 million, not for a community, but for society. For that which is bigger than us. We are a community, but society is bigger than us. Now, a seeker in our community had emailed me sharing, you are right, but if we're donating so much for humanity and for the environment, then how will we have enough resources for our Gurukula, for our school? And she's in Meaningful Mornings right now, so I'm verbalizing my answer. We are all learning, we are all training, and we are doing this well, that our nama is like that leaf. It's there, and the next moment you won't even know that it's not there. And such learning and training helps one to feel the same with dana. One moment it's there, one moment it's not there. So to not depend on this, we are learning and training to give more. So my answer to the seeker is, we can do both. We can keep on giving to the environment, to humanity, and build our school. Verse 18. Ahangaram balam darpam kamam krodam cha samshritaha mamatma paradeheshu pratvishanto pyasuyakaha. This is one of the best verses in this chapter. The third quarter is one of the best quarters of this entire Bhagavad Gita. So I was trying to slowly read this. So much of this you've already heard. Ahankara. And I should have said joy, but I don't feel it with these verses. Ahankaram means doership. Then this gets expressed as balam. Balam means the sense of I am powerful. Ahankaram, I am the doer. This gets expressed more as I am powerful. Darpam means mirror or arrogance, but here I am prideful. I am the doer. I am powerful. I am prideful. Many take pride in being proud. Next quarter, kamam, which means desire. This gets expressed as krodam, or anger. Through this chapter I'd shared, anger comes from unhappiness. Angry people are unhappy. You see the connection here. The word we often use is kama. Unhappy people are desirous too. They're synonymous. But here's a really rough part of this line. Samshritaha, this is their life's purpose. This is their refuge. This is who they are. This is how they live. They don't feel that there's any more. They have normalized this to such an extreme extent that there's pride. And I am the doer, I am powerful. There's pride. And I am unhappy, I am angry. If one is proud of a vice, why would one ever work on changing that? I'm going to go to the fourth quarter, then the third. Such people who identify themselves or their purpose in such a small way, pradvishantaha, they are hateful. They hate themselves. Okay, they hate themselves. And that's why the next word, abhyasuyakaha, this is someone who finds weaknesses in every article, being, and circumstance. They even find weaknesses in strengths. Like that person is so disciplined, as an example. They must not be happy. They don't know how to have fun. So see the connection. They hate themselves, and so they hate everything, particularly people, beings. Rough, yes. So now let's go to the third quarter. the best. Mam means Sri Krishna. He's describing himself. And here, please don't take Sri Krishna as a specific name, form, quality. In this context, he is sharing that he is awareness. Chit. Atma, which means center. Shri Krishna is sharing he's your center. And then para, everyone's center. The word deheshu means in the body. That's less relevant. This is like a mahavakya, which means a great teaching. A common great teaching is tattvamasi. Infinity you are. Shri Krishna is saying the same, but in a more personal way. I am. He says I am in you, but the point is, I am you. This third quarter is so moving because this is a teaching of love, that I am you. What is a more loving statement than that? From inspiration to application. Your application yesterday is to come up with a plan to grow out of hypocrisy and into integrity. How many of you thought about this? Good. You can share how. My plan, I think I'm doing all right with this, is to not give myself an option to not follow through. That's not an option for me. Whenever I'm not in meaningful mornings, it's because I don't have another option, meaning I'm flying. But I'm always in meaningful mornings, irrespective of how tired I am, how sick I am, how much fighting is happening outside, inside. If I start giving myself an option, I'm too tired, I'm sick, I'm bored, something else is more important. To not give oneself an option. It helps with integrity. Your application for this morning is that third quarter, Mam Atma Para Deheshu. This should be your mantra today. If you practice japa, if you're feeling negative, whatever it may be, but this is the phrase to think, speak, and act on today. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Be joy.